I'm Kråkan, also known as Corvus Cornix, and welcome to YACC, yet another Kråcast where I pick a game, I play it for a week, and then I talk about it. This week's game is Richy's Nightmare, and it's a Limbo clone from this year, 2022. A puzzle platformer developed by Wild Monkey and published by Chill Dog Interactive, and there will be spoilers up ahead, just so you know. But first, a little backstory. Sometimes you just see a game that looks visually interesting, and that's why I picked this game this week. So the game starts with an opening text explaining about Richy. He's over the top, he never listens, and he's violent to other kids, so that's a great start right there. So one day, Richy and his parents is out in the woods on a hike, and of course he doesn't listen to his parents, and he wanders off, and he almost gets hit by a car. So at the last second, his mom steps in and pushes him aside, and she gets hit by the car instead, and she dies. That's why Richy has been plagued by these nightmares. So you start out in the forest with a purple background, and this is basically a Limbo clone. There's no shying away from it, it's straight up Limbo. So you move from left to right and you traverse obstacles like gaps and stuff, and don't fall to your death on spikes and that kind of gameplay. So the only problem, or the biggest problem with this game is, when you talk about a platformer, the most basic thing is that jumping mechanic needs to be nailed down, and it has to be perfect. So this game feels very, very strange when it comes to jumping, and I fall to my death so many times that it was frustrating to play. He has that little weird kind of jump that he does, and it's like he's always working against the physics, and it doesn't feel right. So there's some pitfalls, and there's a bridge and a waterfall, and there's like a hard spot. If you try to jump, there's like the bridge is broken, and you try to jump across, and it's not actually visually telling where the broken planks are and whatnot, so you fall to your deaths once more. And later up in the level, there is like you push a lever, and it releases a saw blade, and it chases you, and you're supposed to jump a gap, but due to the bad jumping mechanic, you fall a bunch more. And then you go back and you use the lever again. So it's basically like a little puzzly element. And later up in the game, there's like a cat that releases like another saw blade or a box that crushes you or something. So you have to like walk around all the way and like, beat the thing. And later there was this moment which made me laugh. There's like a monster that chases you around, and it's really badly animated. I don't know, but I thought it's so funny. And you're supposed to lure it with the bones. You climb this large scaffolding and you push it down to the left side, so the monster goes for the bones so you can traverse the level. So I didn't even beat the first level, but there's like a nice little skip that I'll talk about in the other sections basically. So there are 5 levels to this game, and each have a different color. As I said, I didn't even beat the first level, but the first theme is purple, the next theme is red, the one that comes after that is green, and then purple again, and then the last one is blue. So gameplay. Help Richy deals with his emotions and complete this platforming nightmare. Control. The D-pad and the left stick moves the character around. The X button jumps. The triangle is the use button for using certain switches and objects. And back goes back. The circle button goes back, The option menu brings up the options of resetting from like certain checkpoints, and there are plenty of checkpoints out throughout the game because you die a lot. And then the other option is return to the main menu or just quit the game. Graphics. This game was made with the Unity engine, and it has like the same aesthetic as Limbo, so there's nothing more to say about it basically. Sound and music. The footsteps are very loud. I don't know what it is, but you can't really tweak the FX versus the music, so it's really loud. I don't know if the mixing was bad or it was like amateur done or whatnot. And the music also clips, so that's one of the things when you deal with music. I'm an amateur myself. I record some music now and then, so you always check like the soundtrack if it peaks or clips. So I lowered the volume on my TV so it wouldn't clip, but it clipped anyway. And I was like curious if this was just a PS4 thing, so I looked up gameplay, which was really hard to find, but the PC version also clips. So I don't know, really amateur done, but whatever. Easter eggs, secrets, and glitches. There is one cheat that actually is straight up needed to beat the game. So I feel a little ashamed, but I didn't even beat the first level, but I platinumed this game. I 100%ed it. So I used the cheat code, up, down, up, left, right, left, square. This brings up a little sheet menu, so you can just skip to the next level, or you can like get all the collectibles, or just you exit the menu. That's the 3 options. So that's how I platinumed the game. I just I got all the collectibles and I managed to get the good ending and everything. So in conclusion, I wrote no. There are plenty of checkpoints, but there are also a bunch of sheep deaths. So as I said before, a platformer is supposed to be fun, and the most important thing about a platformer is the jumping mechanic. If the jumping mechanic doesn't work or is wonky or weird, it breaks the game. And on top of that, Richy fights the physics, and I didn't talk about it, but there's this puzzle where you throw down boxes in the water and you're supposed to jump from box to dry land. And I died so many times because Richy can't swim and the boxes have this weird physics. So you have to like wait for the box to tilt to the right so you actually can get momentum to jump. And because the jump is so weird, it doesn't matter if you press hard on button or not, you will eventually drown anyway. And it's hard to really count like the trajectory of the jump, if that makes sense. So this game feels unfinished, and that's probably a thing. It wasn't really it didn't really cost a lot of money, but you know, that's no excuse. You don't put out a game that's basically not finished and feels weird. And I don't know. I mean, there weren't a lot of reviews of this game I was like checking out. There's like one PC review of this game, which also he actually 100% of the game, which is really cool. It takes a lot of like patience to do it. And there was also the guide for the 100% trophy. And if you need cheats to beat a game, then that's a really bad game mechanic. They actually left it in so you don't, could skip it. So I can't recommend this game. So play Limbo instead. That's all I have to say about it. So anyway, thanks for listening and or watching, and take care.